Christian nationalism. Why are you hearing that word so much? We'll talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about illegals killing Americans tonight. We're going to talk about the state of Minneapolis, the future of American cities, ballot chasing, all that coming up on I'm Right. It would be beneficial if everybody would study communists more and communism more, to study their tactics, their techniques. How are they successful? How's such a demonic religion, how's it been so successful taking over societies? One of the main ways communism has been successful, wherever it is they will find whatever's in their way, whether it's a person or a concept, whatever it may be, and they'll figure out a way to, this is from Saul Alinsky, to freeze it, personalize it, polarize it. They'll pick an enemy, they'll find a way to separate that enemy from society, and they'll attack it and attack it and attack it without end until it's destroyed. And now they have an enemy gone. You see this, you've seen this a million different ways. You're seeing it right now in the country with their war on Christianity. Remember, communists do not share space with any other religion, anywhere. Whether it's the Orthodox churches in Russia or the Buddhist temples in China. If there is a religion of a nation, communists view that religion as a competitor and they will stamp it out. Communists are after the American church, and they're using that freeze it, polarize it, and personalize it technique once again. Why do you think you're hearing so much this phrase you've probably never heard before up until a couple years ago? Christian nationalism.
All the things that we think about electability, about, what are people gaming out, or none of that matters when you believe that God has given you this country, that it is yours, and that everyone who is not a white conservative Christian is a fraudulent American.
I would put him in the camp of Christian nationalist, where he believes he's truly fighting these dark forces, and the Constitution in some cases is an impediment to him being able to fight those forces. It's very dangerous for this country.
This movement was the foundation for January 6th. They were the moving elements that made January 6th and the insurrection happen. And now we have a Speaker of the House who is an avowed Christian nationalist.
This is very much in line with the overall attack on trans people writ large, because this is actually a focus by the Christian nationalist movement on anything that they consider to be outside of the gender binary.
So they put their loyalty to Trump and God before Constitution and country. I think it is the most heinous threat, and it is the largest domestic threat you could possibly think of at any point in our country. Right now it's happening.
Over and over and over and over and over again. Christian nationalism, Christian nationalism. And they're trying the best they can to thread that needle and make Christians stay really complacent, which they are in this country. No, it's not you, not Christians, just a Christian nationalist. Listen to this Politico reporter try to thread that needle on TV.
You're going to hear words like Christian nationalism, like the New Apostolic Reformation. These are groups that you should get very schooled on, because they have a lot of power in Trump's circle. And the one thing that unites all of them, because there's many different groups orbiting Trump, but the thing that unites them as Christian nationalists, not Christians, by the way, because Christian nationalists is very different, is that they believe that our rights as Americans, as all human beings, don't come from any earthly authority. They don't come from Congress. They don't come from the Supreme Court. They come from God.
No, Christians, no, stay calm, Christian. Just the Christian nationalists. This is all about Christianity. They are after you. Time for Christians to wake up. Joining me now, Kingsley Wilson, Digital Media Director at the Center for Renewing America. And it's that Center for Renewing America that is actually kind of in the news because of all this, because that same psycho Politico reporter moaning about Christian nationalism wrote a piece about you and this dastardly organization of yours, Kingsley. What kind of Christian nationalism are you guys plotting?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me, Jesse. It's great to be with you. And I think we're seeing here an example of the mainstream media's disdain for Christian Americans, right? Nowhere is anti-Christian bigotry more obvious than in members of the mainstream's media's hits, in the pieces that they write about us. And we have to realize why they're doing this. They want you on the sidelines. They want Christian Americans who have biblical worldviews to sit out of the political process so that they can advance their satanic globalism. The left has a religion, right? It's wokeness. They want the LGBTQ mafia to take strangleholds of our schools. They want illegals to come through our southern border. They want to worship at the altar of George Floyd. Christian Americans and we at the Center for Renewing America will not stand for that. We will fight against it because our foundation as a nation is Christian foundation and principles and different ideas that the founders wrote about, right? You look at things like the Declaration of Independence mentions our creator. We say that we're a nation under God when we recite our Pledge of Allegiance. Our different currencies say, in God we trust. Almost every state constitution in this country, in fact, mentions God or the divine. We are a Christian nation. That is how we were founded. Our rights come from God, much to the dismay of Politico. They would rather have it come from Joe Biden's government, and we will not stand for that.
Kingsley, when it comes to the American church, it is under attack. It's under physical attack. We know that attacks on the American church have doubled in just the last year. In fact, they've more than doubled. We understand that. That's just the street communists. At the federal level, they're arresting pro-lifers for reading Bible verses and singing worship songs. Christians in America have to realize the war against them isn't coming, it's here.
Exactly. You're correct. And you even think back to instances like during the COVID-19 virus, right? They shut down Christian places of worship while they kept restaurants that they like to eat at, like the French Laundry, Gavin Newsom's favorite, open. They, went after bakers that refused to bake cakes that went against their Christian beliefs. The Obama administration, just recently, when they were in power, they went after the Little Sisters of the Poor, a Catholic organization, for refusing to embrace birth control as, a means of medical assistance. And I think that what we've seen in recent history is, again, a kind of perversion of our founding. These people, because as you're right, they're communists. They hate America's founding. They hate our heritage, and they are intent on uprooting and subverting that. You even look prior to the founders, right? The English Protestants that came over to New England, they wanted to establish a settlement that was founded on Christianity, that glorified God in everything that it did. That is our Christian ethos as a country and our heritage. And the left is hell-bent on just doing away with that and rewriting this history. That's why we see them tearing down statues and telling our children in schools that America's founding was racist. They're trying to, in real time, write what this country was and has always been about. And we at the Center for Renewing America want to renew a consensus of America as that nation founded under God. We can no longer let these communists tear down our statues and our history.